So even though this isn't really a political channel, it is about numerology, and I calculate almost everything. But boy, oh boy, do I have some interesting calculations about our country. So let's take a look together. Hi, it's Lori from Numerology with Lori, and I would be happy to share some of these interesting calculations. But first, if you have a desire to like and subscribe, I would be really, really blessed if you did because it would provide some growth for my channel, which is kind of ultimately what I'm after. So let's get right into the calculations. So I'm going to just share with you real quick. I did a board based on the United States of America. And if you would like to take a screenshot of this, I can leave it up for a second so that you can do that. United States of America, you'll see that says it up top. And we've calculated even the birth date, the pinnacles and challenges. And the absolute interesting thing is the personal year of the country, which is so interesting. Not to mention, we really go into talking about the personal year of the country. So let's get into this. So the destiny number is a true 10, which I find to be super interesting because a true 10 is a good karma number, and it means the ending of karma. Wow. What karma, you say? Well, we did a political um, video on Donald Trump. And I'm going to tell you, this person who is the president of this country has tons of bad karma in his numbers. And maybe you can go back and take a look at that one. Um, But anyway, in the meantime, the destiny number for the United States of America, all the way across, adds to 10. And the 10 and 1 is a true karmic, good karma number. So it's the ending of karma. Super significant when you look at the universal year, which is also 2026 and adds to a true 10. 2 plus 2 plus 6 equals 10. I, I feel very, very charged up about that. I mean, I don't know if you remember, but I remember 2025 being just a horrible year. There were so many things that were coming out that were the Epstein files were introduced to us. I think for me anyway, and just that particular one little thing was like, oh my gosh, it changed my worldview completely. But 2026 rolled around, and all of a sudden I had a better attitude. I felt like, okay, we're going to fight everything. Anything that's bad right now in this country or in this world, we're going to fight. So, new beginnings, that's what it's all about. The 2026 year is really about new beginnings, which I think is super helpful. So, the personality number of United States of America calculates to a 19, and a 19 is about power and control. The 19 is a karmic number, but it's the heart's desire of this country to be a powerful country. I don't know that that's where we're going. Well, let's see what happens. Again, we have all of these opportunities for ending of karma. So it feels to me like what the United States has been built on is going to change slightly. So if other countries or other people outside of the US see us as this 1910, and that's not truly who we are, we need to think about that. We definitely need to think about that. The heart's desire of the people of this country is to be a country that is in charge of itself. That's kind of where I see this going. Anyway, it's interesting that the maturity number is a 6. So that feels like a country that will grow into maturity and love of family, love of children. Let's face it, a lot of what's happening right now is opposite of that. Um, so it feels like there's going to be a good family environment for people, which even though we thought that's what the 50s and 60s might have been like, if you think about what really happened in the 50s and 60s, was that good for everybody? Was it good for children? Was it good for women? Who was that the best for? I'd ask you to think about that. Um, so I wanted to just say real quick, I'm looking at my notes here. So the last time we had a situation where the heart's desire for the people was a power situation was 1945. 1945 was a 1910 year. So 1 plus 9 plus 4 plus 5 equals 19. So it was a 10 year, it was a new beginning year, which let's face it, it was. Um, but did that start to change the thought process of people? That's kind of interesting to me. And again, that was the personality number. So I find that to be kind of fascinating. And also, if you keep in mind, the soul number is also a 1910 too. So it's the personality and the soul. And the soul has more karma to release. Again, this is a year of ending of karma. So another thing I wanted to share with you, and you can see it here in the pinnacles and challenges, and these are over here, pinnacles, challenges. The last one is a 10. Well, it adds to 10 based on the 7 plus the 3 in the year. So that's how you get to the fourth challenge. Okay, I'm sorry, maybe it's here. Yes, here it is. It's hard to tell looking backwards at this. But the real beauty of that is that now we're in a period of working out our bad karma. So true. When you think about all of the things that are happening here in this country, is there a reason for this? Is there a higher um, meaning, I guess, is the word. Like, are we are we accomplishing something real here? And that's how I see it. I see the spirituality that's happening. And if you're not a spiritual person, it's just going to change. Things are changing. You know, we're in a period of flux right now. The only thing that I would caution you all is that the challenge for this year is a four, or for right now is a 4. The problem with that is it's a hard work um, challenge. It means that it's going to be challenging to work hard. That has numerous meanings. That could have meanings as far as the economy and people not working and wanting to work. It has implications as far as are the people that are guiding us, our leaders, are they working hard enough? We've all complained about this. We feel that the people that are representing us may not be working hard enough, you know, to get this done. There's so many areas where that 4 challenge could be coming into play right now. But remember that there are so much hope in the new beginning of the true 10 karmic number, the good karmic number. There's so much hope in that. So that's the present in the destiny number, and it's present in the current pinnacle, which we can all see is here at the top of this arrow. So the true 10. Okay. I mean, which breaks down to a 1 for leadership, but it's a true 10, which means that we all are ending bad karma. That's really, really intense. Um, Now I wanted to bring up another thing. So we took a look at the pinnacles and challenges. This country is now in the last pinnacle and challenge, which we just talked about. This can mean so many things. Yeah, we talked about that too. The previous pinnacle was a 9, which I find really fascinating. Let's take a look at that. So here we go. There's a 9, and this is calculated because of the first two pinnacles. So the first two pinnacles are an 11 and 7. So we calculate them by adding them together and we get the 9. So the 9 is about ending of old ways. We've sort of had to endure that. We've done that. And that's part of what 2025 was, because that 9 also was in 2025. 2 plus 2 plus 5 equals 9. It was an ending year. 2026, as I've said before, is a new beginning year for everybody, but especially our country. So let me just say one more thing. Um, it looks like the birth date of our country, which is 7/4/1776, adds up to, I mean, you can add it two ways. I add it two ways because of the fact that I don't want to miss a karmic number and I don't want to miss a master number. So in this sense, the first number I reached was a 34/7. Or I'm sorry, that's wrong. A 32/5. 3 plus 2 equals 5. But when I added each number up individually, so I took the 7 and the 4, I brought them down, and then I added up the year and I got a 21, and 2 plus 1 equals 3. That's how it works. Numerology always has to calculate down to one digit, okay? So then I added the 3 plus the 4 plus the 7, and I came to a karmic number of 14. And it's a karmic number that talks about temptations. So the good thing to remember in this is that, again, we're in a period of ending karma right now. All of those temptations, and these could include everything from, these could include, I'm sorry for that. This could include anything from specifically to women. Um, we know those Epstein files could definitely represent that. Um, It could include alcohol, could include drugs. And let's face it, we are working on those things. There's a generation just below us or above us. I'm not sure how you would look at that. But the younger generation, let's say, is really working on releasing their karma. It's something that wasn't available to us. I just turned 68 years old. So I've worked on my trauma just because that's what I do, but or what I did. And still do. I still do. But the younger generation actively works on this. They take their trauma and they say, okay, what can I do to make my life better? How can I take a look at the shadow side of my numbers? How can well, they might not, the shadow sides of my life, let's say. We don't know that they're interested in numerology, but numerology can show them where they have to go to take a look at some of these shadows. Um, the but and I'm very, very interested in that. I think that is a wonderful thing that there's a lot of trauma being released in people because we're going to need everybody. We're going to need everybody to build community, to we're going to need light workers to try to bring people to a whole different thought process. I know things are going to get tough before they get better, and that's kind of what the United States of America's chart shows me. But then let's take a look at those personal years. See, these are over here. 2026 is a 3 year for the United States of America, and that's starting on 2026. That's when that starts. That's how you add up a personal number. You take the birth date and the birth month and you add it to the current year and you get the personal year. So if your birthday, like mine was 4/28, so if I add 4, 28, 1, 4, 5, and so I'm in a 6 year. I just thought about that because the 2026 is a 1 and the 28 equals a 1 and the 4 equals 4. So 4 plus 1 is a 6, which means family. It means possible relationship. I don't know. I'll let you know how that goes, people. But anyway, so the beauty of looking at the personal numbers is we can sort of see the flavor of what's going to happen each year. So the flavor for 2026 for the United States of America is a 3. In 2027, we have a 4. Interesting, because that also coincides with the current challenge. So is it going to be difficult for us to work a little bit harder on 2027? Nobody knows what the future brings. But predictively, I do see that there's a 4 here and a 4 here. So for 2027, it's not going to be an easy year. We're going to have to work. Now, does that mean that this ending of karma that we're seeing now brings us to a new phase that we have to work to bring in? That's my feeling about it. That is the intuition that I have about this. So, being that that's the case, then we go into 2028, which is a year that we've all been talking about because of the presidential elections, and we have a 5 year. So keep in mind. So here we are, 2025. I think this is it here. 2025? No, 2028, I'm sorry, is a 5 year. So with that being the case, what does that mean? That means that there are a lot of adventures happening. It could be interesting, but it also means that we shouldn't count anything out. Everything's on the table. We've already passed the 9 and we're in, and we've already passed these years. So we've let go of what doesn't serve us anymore. We've already had our new beginnings with the birth date of this country, of United States of America. The 2026 is universal. Keep in mind that this personal year is for the United States of America. So 2026 is a 3 year, which means there's a lot of communication. There's a lot happening as far as joy of living. We are learning a whole new way of living. It's different, it's new, but it's good for us. It's good for us. And I'm hoping that this reading has been good for you. There's a lot to be thought about in United States of America, and we could do um, another another time on this. So let me know if you're interested in that. If you're interested in looking a little bit further into United States of America, we did the soul number, we did the destiny number, we did the maturity number, and the life path number, which again is karmic. So we have the right person in charge. Unfortunately, it's up to us to work out the good karma, to bring it on. Let's go. Let's go. Love you guys. Thank you so much for being here.